When you first sort of turn up to a crash scene, um, what's sort of going through your head? Is that your immediate thought, like, is anybody dead? What's happened?
First thing, because we're a forensic unit, it's our job to figure out what happened, why it happened. So as we work through a scene, we're immediately trying to answer exactly what happened. Why is that there, or something else there, or that piece down there? And all of that ties together with the exact cause of the crash.
So for so long now, there's been problems with car crashes, accidents, deaths in our country. So ultimately, what's been the main underlying problem?
I think the major underlying problem is that people believe that it will never happen to them. People believe that they're perfect drivers. People believe that crashes only happen to other people. And what they forget is that there is no such thing as a perfect driver. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's a matter of trying to minimise those mistakes.
Do you believe that New Zealand drivers are listening to what the New Zealand police have to say?
I think it comes back to that, what I said before about never happening to them. They say, oh, I know how to drive, it's not a problem, and they usually don't listen to police, they don't listen to NZTA or road safety people. They just do their own thing, and they forget that they are part of the problem as well.
What is it that you guys can do to try and change that perception, or is it ultimately all up to the driver?
We can educate as much as we can. We can do enforcement, and the rest is up to the driver.
There will always be deaths on our roads, that's pretty much a given. But how do you think the death toll can be minimised as much as possible?
The only way that I can see for that sort of thing to happen is to get everybody obeying the road rules. If everybody obeyed the road rules all the time, we wouldn't have crashes.
Sandra Venables, who's the Assistant Commissioner for Road Policing in New Zealand, she stated that she's frustrated with the amount of deaths and senseless tragedies that are happening on our roads this year. And is that something that resonates with the rest of the police force?
Police get frustrated. I know I get frustrated with turning up to crashes, and it's the same thing over and over again. The number of crashes I've done where if people were wearing their seatbelt, they would have walked out of it, but they didn't, they did. It's the frustration, we're seeing it over and over again. We're always seeing the same thing. There's nothing new in crashes in the last 20 years. The number of times people are dead when they shouldn't be is just so frustrating for us.
Is there any way that the New Zealand Police, the NZTA, city councils countrywide can do to improve safety on our roads, or have you done all you can now? And is it all up to the driver per se to start following the road rules?
The roads, there's always the potential in New Zealand roads for improvement. There's roads get worn, and so sometimes the amount of grip on the road lowers, but in general, if the grip on the road is lowered, or a corner is a tight corner or something like that, it's up to the driver to drive according to the conditions.
How can people ensure that they can be safe on our roads? Is it back to just obeying the road rules, driving to the conditions as you say? Is that all that we can do?
All you can do is, as you say, obey the road rules, drive to the conditions, and also be aware of the other motorists on the road. Us city councils, everybody wants to lower the crash rate, but there's only so much you can do when you've got thousands of kilometres of road. Maybe there are bits of road that are a bit wonky, but you don't know about it till after somebody crashes.